I mean, I think the way to look at the tech sell-off is that, you had sort of massive gains earlier this year. There's a lot of froth in the tech sector, and arguably a bit of it's still being blown off. I think the bulk of it has already sort of been blown off, and, sooner or later the markets will come back to the fact that, given COVID is, well, certainly at the moment, it's not going away anyway any time soon, there's still a lot of support for most of the tech sector. Clearly there's going to be a sort of continued volatility in the very big names, but generally we think the tech sector remains sort of fundamentally well supported.
Rupert, at this point we need to remind viewers and those trading the markets that we are just in a period of volatility. We're hearing from all quarters that people need to get used to being uncomfortable. The US election is going to bring more volatility anyway. Do you think that's just the mood music? This is what we've got until the election in November?
I think it's very likely. I think it's a combination of the election, as you say, in terms of whether President Trump accepts, well, forgetting about what the result will be in the first place, whether President Trump would accept the result. The other problem is that with the election pending, with the battle over the Supreme Court at the moment, clearly there is a need for the fiscal stimulus measure to be renewed, as Powell was mentioning only sort of in the last day or two. That looks pretty unlikely this side of the election. And then, of course, we've got the latest upsurge in infections in Europe. So I think for all these reasons, it's going to be a period of volatility for the next few weeks.
What's been really interesting, I think, is the recent manoeuvring we've seen in the markets where there have been attempts to rotate away from tech into cyclicals. And Rupert, I'd appreciate your opinion here, because we are effectively 10% lower on the S&P from the intraday high that we saw back on the 2nd of September here. That is a meaningful pullback. If you are convinced that there is still resilience in this market, where do you then add at this stage if you want to buy on the dips? Do you buy cyclicals or do you buy tech, as you seem to be suggesting?
I think it very much depends on your time horizon. I mean, if you are buying the dip, essentially you're buying the hope that, as it were, the news on the recovery is going to get better. And if anything, I think then short term at least, value or cyclicals will probably outperform. But on a longer term view, which certainly our view, that, as it were, the recovery is going to be a pretty sort of choppy affair, sluggish affair, then I think you want to remain with sort of the secular winners, which I think remains of technology and also the healthcare.